Alright, hi everybody. So this video is going to be about, a little bit about autism, specifically mine, because it's different for each person who's autistic. The terminology is the proper way to, I guess, address how to address who you are, like, do you have it or with it, or the terminology is different. I've been learning a lot. Most of what I've learned has been from autistic people communicating on social media. And I've been discovering a lot of things that I had no clue. Didn't realize my stimming was stimming because it didn't look like how they show it on the mainstream. And one thing that I've been learning about has been the term masking. And so a person masks to try to appear like everybody else. And I think that there are levels to that. Like, there's some that are very successful at it. They just carry it all day long flawlessly. I don't think I do that. I have temporarily masked in such a high intensity that I did convince someone for a brief period of time, like for a few months, that I was like everybody else. But I don't have the energy to keep it up. I can't. I lose all energy. I burn out very quickly. And so I do, I think, the very minimalistic masking, if any masking at all. I don't think I'm able to express what other people do. I'm pretty straightforward. What you see is what you get. I'm like, no filter. I know how to laugh on cue at things everybody's thinking is funny. My laughing at something does not indicate that I find it funny. I just know that it's appropriate to laugh. I've started to train myself not to laugh at things just because everybody thinks it's funny. That it's okay not to laugh. And a lot of times I don't get why it's funny. Or sometimes I know it is funny, but don't understand why it's funny. So humor is a difficult thing for me. But I do enjoy comedies. And I really enjoy the dumbest movies. I mean, like, the worst B movies. Parodies are fun. I struggle with sarcasm, so when they exaggerate it becomes funny. Because then once I understand it, then it's like, it's really extreme. I tend to miscommunicate sometimes. I tend to stare, and I try not to. I know that there's certain learned protocols, like learn responses to certain situations. So, like, I visited a Catholic church once, and the priest would say a phrase, and the congregation had memorized the response. So he would say this, and then they would say that, and then he would do this, and they would do that. There was like this whole back and forth, and the whole congregation knew it so well that they all did it simultaneously. It was like in a radio, and they were like just, not even thinking about it. We just do it because you've done it so many times. So I know the greetings and the politeness, please and thank yous, and how are you doing? They don't want to know how you're doing. They want to hear fine, good. You throw out these little things, and sometimes they throw me through a loop. They throw out a question, and then I'm like, at first I want to answer what I think they want to hear, but then I wonder what the motive is. Like, why are they asking this question? Is the answer what they're looking for? Is this actually a question? And it gets caught up. And then sometimes I just sit there and stare at them. I don't know what to say. And I know that I would get exhausted. Personally, I don't really care for physical contact. I don't lose control of my reactions to it. I just quietly have discomfort. I don't really like it. And my husband's one of the few people who can come in physical contact with me and not cause me to feel distress inside. And I know that when someone explains something, I misinterpret. I jump to the wrong conclusions. If you leave it up to me to figure out, I may not come to the answers that you intended. So like, my sister and my mother were having a conversation. I'm sitting with them. I'm listening to their conversation. We're all together. And they were talking about how one time the fast food place gave them a burger that had 2 top buns. My sister's like, well, they also gave me a burger that had 2 bottom buns. So my mother has had an instance in her life where she was given a burger with 2 top buns, and my sister had a burger with 2 bottom buns, and I couldn't figure out how this mistake could occur, because I'm thinking the whole burger and then an extra bun on top, or an extra bun on the bottom. Like, wouldn't you have seen that there were 2 top buns? Wouldn't that have been really obvious? And what they had meant was that the rounded bun on top, they had a rounded bun on the bottom, or the flat bun on the bottom, they also had a flat bun on the top. That they were what the piece would be, the top and the bottom. Not that it was on the top or on the bottom. So I completely saw something different than they did. And this happens like with lots of other things. Like, they will explain something, I will see something completely different. And so I'd be like confused, and then they would have to explain it. And I know that I don't have the same translation of my excitement. I know that I don't tend to express excitement in the same as other people. And it's the same as when I was little. And when I was little, just, that would be excitement, just intense. I would tighten up. My body would just rigid, and I'd be like vibrating, oh, that's excitement, I was never very verbal when it came to being happy about something. Um, tears, I cry, I have all the emotions, but expressing them, I would have to, what I call, be in the emotion. My hour by hour, I have very little emotional happenings or awareness, maybe. I just don't feel like I'm experiencing a lot emotionally, just moment to moment through the day. When I do have an emotional event, something's happened, something's gonna happen, there's a change occurring, and an emotion, I feel like a wave of emotion come, and I get overwhelmed with it at times, and then I can break down and cry, or I can go into a fit of just absolute fit of screaming. My meltdowns, luckily, are not that many, but they look like a child not getting their way, and it's embarrassing. And so I try to protect myself from meltdowns. I guard my sleep, try to make sure I have downtime. I try to distract myself, definitely. I am very easily distracted due to having ADD. So, distractions help me break out of my fixations. My fixations help me to stay focused and get something done. And when they work together, I do really well. When they are conflicting and I end up in an anxiety circle, I don't get much of anything done. And so that's not fun. I've allowed myself to do some stimming at work. I don't do anything, like I said, I don't do anything extreme. I don't do anything loud, but I don't do anything big motion wise. Light rocking, I love to spin my badge. So if I start to feel a little anxious, I start to spin my badge, and I spin my badge, and it's on this little wheel, and it can totally spin, and so I like that. I chew gum. Turns out that's a thing. I've tried to stop some of the bad impulses, like I would peel my fingers, the skin. It's not a healthy thing to do, and I'm trying really hard not to do it. So that's also something. When I'm stressing, I tend to cut my hair because I'm avoiding any long-term self-harm. So cutting hair, it grows back, and so it's always fun. I tend to get rather either stumped or I have lots of ideas overwhelming. So, anyways, as I learn more about it, I'll probably do a video, more informative video. In the meantime, it's just kind of touch and go on what I know about autism and my specific autism, because I'm not the only one in the family who has it. And so as I'm learning more about me and trying to figure out what is ADD and what is autism, and what is perhaps trauma from traumatic childhood. So just figuring those things out has been a challenge, especially since I get distracted when I'm starting to do research, and so my research is pretty shallow at this point. I'm hoping to become a special interest, because I understand special interests tend to get really involved in deep diving into that kind of research. So that would be great, and very helpful. to the family. Alright, I'll talk to y'all later. Like, subscribe, comment if you want, and I'm gonna go to bed. I gotta get up at 4 in the morning. Alright, bye.